All right. It says we are live, and I see little green dots at the bottom, which means you can hear me. And I'm on a new computer, on the wife's computer, so hopefully we don't run into any user errors. I'm looking crispy on this thing. This is HD for sure. Catching me a couple days before my 45th birthday. Yeah, that's how we're rolling. I got 2 days. I got to call my shot. Okay, don't. I'm one of those birthday people pre-birthday that lets you know because I'm a twin. I had a roommate before I was born. Okay, I've never had my own room even before then, and so to make matters worse, all through school, like the one of the prettiest girls, and she was like really athletic. Her birthday was also March 7th, and then like the most athletic guy in the school, his is March 7th also. So everybody, I would be walking around, who would be like, "Oh, it's your birthday too?" And I'm like, "It's my birthday first. Got to share a birthday at school. I got to share a birthday at home. It's ridiculous." Anyway, so sounds like I need to talk to somebody about that. Anyway, glad you can make it in for all those people who made it, and if not, just know that you're missed and that I'm disappointed. Not in you necessarily, just that you couldn't make it, that you're not here. And if you're listening to this later, but not live, I hope, and if you're on a run, I hope that run is terrible. I hope you get headwinds no matter which direction you turn, and the gusts breach 60. Not nothing, no hurricanes, but like something really, and then maybe it picks up a little sand, and you get a little sand in your eye, and you turn the other way, and somehow these are warm gusts because it's hot, and somehow also humid. And at the end of it all, you are a better human being and you're a better runner. And then on race day, you will absolutely, that's what I hope for you if you're on a run today. My run was a workout today. It was a good workout. I don't usually keep track of that, especially ever since I've started training by effort. I just, I don't think a lot. I just am a bro hard. I go hard on the track. I program my watch, it beeps, I run hard, it beeps, I stop, it beeps, I run hard, it beeps, I stop, I shower. I don't even know. I did 1K repeats today and they came in, so they'll beep at me and it'll tell me like 337, 335, 334. I can see that I'm running consistently, but I don't know what it means because I don't deal with Ks. I'm not trying to pinky up on my metric friends. I like Ks. I just don't know what it means. So like 800s, I could do 800s because of the Yasso 800s and my training the last 4 years. Everybody knows the Yasso 800s. By the way, there was a Kafuzi live stream where he was talking about the Yasso 800s and someone put in there, I'm afraid to do those. I'm afraid to do those. I have a fear of those. And someone said they should have a name for that. And so I was listening later, but not live to that. And then I got in the comments and I was like, this should be called Nossos. Anyway, so clever. So clever. Ha 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 ha. Oh, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Anyway, I didn't know what those 1Ks meant, but I felt like very controlled through all the reps and I finished strong. And I wanted to know. So I got on the computer and I talked to my coach, not my actual coach, Matt Fox, but my AI coach, Chat Daniels. That's what I call him. I call him Chat. And ChatGPT is pretty crafty. He says that Chat Daniels thinks I could run a 35, 40, 10K. Pretty well tapered based on this workout. That's how you know he's fake because he's just making shit up at that point. I mean, I think my PR is a 39, and while I'm faster than that, that just seems like absurd. But the reason I try not to think about those things usually is that it doesn't really matter. So I feel like I just said that, but I didn't. I just said that earlier. I didn't say it to you. I said it to the camera. I have one camera, guys. This is my camera. I'm filming a Koros fitness test. I already filmed the Koros fitness test. I filmed it last week And then this week, I didn't, I haven't done anything, guys. The last video was like, like every week I'm going to almost quit YouTube. And then I realized I just have to turn on the camera and talk a little bit. And I don't need the Floberg production value or the Jeremy Miller or any of that stuff. And so I filmed the other half last night. I got to edit it at some point this week, and then maybe we'll have something to watch on Sunday. I've been trying to talk to Tim Gross. We've missed each other the last couple of times, so I'm going to talk to him next week. So that'll be like in a few more weeks. Anyway, all right. So let's talk running shoes. The title of this one is called Running Shoes I Really Like. Actually, I want to do 2 segments for the running shoe talk today. I want to talk about shoe news. It sounds very Ed Buddy, like, or Ed Bud like, because he does genres. I think he's got his episodes. He'll do yay or nay if he's gonna run in a shoe or not a shoe, whether he thinks they'll be good. I did that for the whole year, like based on the running event for Stud or Dud, and some of those are already starting to come out. But I want to talk about like shoes that kind of surfaced. We can talk about that are coming out. So like Joanna's a person that I watch most of the time. I have to skip ahead. I don't have that much time. So I just kind of get to his early overreaction as he's running in the shoe to see what he thinks about the shoe. I don't have a ton of time to get the other stuff on most days. So anyway, he reviewed the Cumulus 27 today, and that's going to be a pass for me. There's these kind of shoes, this like everyday kind of shoe. It got me thinking. It's kind of like the Saucony Ride, or wait, no, yeah, is it the Ride or the Triumph? I think it's the Ride. Anyway, there's the 880s of the world and stuff, and I'm not gonna review those shoes. I have too many shoes to run in, and I kind of know what that shoe is. And then I was thinking about what it was while I was listening to it on my run. And in coffee shop terms, it's kind of like your house brew. It's just like for Starbucks, it's their Pike's Place. It's 3% of the sales, maybe. It's not a whole lot, right? That it brings in, but at the same time, like you can't not have it. It's like your house coffee. You have to have it. Otherwise, how could you possibly be a coffee shop? You don't even have any house brew, any drip coffee. Dutch Bros, 7 Brew. Man, they're out there catching strays today. Anyway, that's kind of like what I think about these shoes. And I don't feel like I'm missing anything if I don't run in the Cumulus 27. And interesting fact, if you follow this channel long enough, then or the Midlifer's Journey, that the Cumulus 22 was my first 5K shoe. Let's see. All right. Andrew Chosen here. I was just trying to turn on my chat to see if you guys are here. So sometimes I forget and I'm just out here talking to myself, which, it's better just never end up homeless. Everyone will think I'm on drugs. Andrew Charles in here. He says, great workout today, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. It's awesome to see when you have great workouts, because then I'm like, I assume the collective Andrew fitness, because we're in such similar shape. So if I'm like, oh, Andrew can do that, then I definitely can do that too, because we're buds. We're running buds. All right. Yeah. So the Ride, what I was saying, the Cumulus, that was like my first, when I got into running and I made the decision to buy some running shoes. I didn't know anything. And I got online, and I remember thinking that ASICS was a really good running company for my childhood. I don't know why I thought this. And so I looked it up, and there was some Cumulus 22. Forget the Cumulus is like a cloud, and that maybe would be soft. I was like, I'm gonna run fast in these. highlighter yellow, and I got them, and they were soft. I mean, I've never no experience in any sort of running shoe. I'm running in like Academy shoes or something, like some Reeboks for $40. So I don't really have much experience venturing into it. And I was like, man, these shoes almost make me feel slower. And my strategy was just to run a 5K every few days as hard as I can to see if I could just keep improving it. And anyway, Cumulus was not the move. I don't recommend the Cumulus for 5K work. Just, I guess you could make you a stronger runner. You could argue. But anyway, will not be running in the Cumulus 27. Did not run the 23, the 24, the 25. I don't even mess with the Nimbus. I don't even mess with the Nimbus. Those bigger ones. There you go. Triumph. Yeah, those. This is not 1080s. Just going to pass on all of those. So Andrew Chosen here. He said, just picked up the Adidas Supernova Rise for $30. You are an inspiration, Andrew. Don't even know if the shoe's any good or not, but couldn't pass up the deal. I have a $40 must-buy policy. I do it for $40. That's how I got the Reebok Float Ride Energy 5. I love the 1. I know that 4 and 5, it's all the same, and it's Reebok's not really pushing the envelope, or is that the cliche in when it comes to running? But I was like $40. I got the Vomero 16, ugliest colorway, $50. So yeah, if it's in that 40 range, and I've noticed something too is that if I get a shoe on discount, I never think about the shoe at full retail price. So one of the shoes that we're going to talk about today, I got for half off on the Supple app. I would never pay full price for this shoe. And for the shoe, then like I don't know if it would be a sleeper, but it is at the price that I got it. So like I have a hard, and it allows me to like try brands like Skechers when they're like $40, $60. So always here for that. What was the best one I got was the Brooks Hyperion Max 1 on the Supple app for $25. This is a great buy for 20 spot. So next up, I saw you want to review the On Cloud Surfer 2. And I'm going to say no, I'm not. I don't know if I'm going to say dud. I don't know. Dud or stud or whatever. I'm just going to say that I'm not going to run in it because it's too expensive. I like the Eclipse for $90, but that's one that retails at 180. For 180, no way, Josue. We're not messing full price 180, 200. Like I don't even want to know about the Surfer 2 because I don't want to be talked into it. I don't want someone to be like, oh my God, this is such a sleeper shoe. It's like, no. Seen enough, heard enough. You lost me at 200 and whatever. And that shoe's not $200 to be fair, but you want to also review the Endorphin Trainer, which is a no for me. That was one that I thought would be a dud in my stutter dud, and everybody was hopping in the comments and they're like, hey man, I don't think that shoe is what you think it's going to be. That's really just the Convara Pro number 2, but they just renamed it. And I was like, okay, in which case I stand by what I said. I said shit, and I stand by it. And yeah, the early reviews are in, and it seems to be a no, but maybe for heavier runners, which, some shoes that work well for heavier runners, like the Glycerin Max, I am fond of. I do like. So it's not like I have to rule out. Skyward X also, I do like as a wee man, as a wee little man. Vomero 18. It's also a no for me. This is just like a whole list of no's. It's just like shit ain't gonna run in. But I just want to let you know there's no horse neighing sound. But I'm not gonna run the Vomero 18 unless in a year I see it for $30, Andrew. If I see it for $30, I'm gonna get the Vomero 18. It looks the same. It's like a new design, so maybe it doesn't look the same, but it looks like it feels the same. It's kind of like a decent ride. plush, but not soft. So nice heel collar, nice tongue, comfortable, big, thick, rubbery outsole that will never wear down after 500 miles. Some ground contact feel, almost like you could wear it in some light trails. So that's what it looked like. And for the Vomero 16, I use it for a gym shoe a lot, mostly, and when I want to feel the ground. The 2025 minimalist shoe for me, still quite the stack. But Boston 13, you got it. Also a no for me. Super Blast 2. I ran another run in it, chiseling away at that foam. And I decided I think I want that to be the last shoe that I'm willing to break in. So I had to break in the Boston 12. And I was getting up to 77 miles. And I was like, this isn't it. I got too many other shoes to run in. And and if the Boston 13 is going to be a lot like the 12, maybe it's a little bit different. I'm just not interested in it. It's not for me. I'm not going to try to force it. Not trying to make this relationship work for the kids. We don't have any kids together. Little known fact. Nike Streak Fly 2. So it's online, and Connor just pops up with his RW, with a little running warehouse video. I love the comments on all those videos. Specifically, people feel free to go at running warehouse or Connor. Poor Connor, man. He just seems like such a nice guy. But they said the streak fly, the way he said streak fly, shriek fly. Yeah. And they're like, why does he say shriek fly? And then I couldn't unhear it. And every time he said it, it was like shriek fly 2. I was like, don't pick on Connor like that. That's not fair. But I was hoping, I didn't know anything about the shoe. And what I was really hoping is that the Shriek Fly 2 was like a Takumi Sen for the 5K, 10K, and like all the components of the shoe seemed like they would be in that category. But the look of it, the design of it, and then I saw a video from Chris Sagasu later, who just opened up his second channel all on ideas and stuff. And yeah, he said what would it look like? It would look, it's like a dragonfly. So it's more like a spike shoe. And I have dragonflies. I got some dragonflies on sale when the Dragonfly 2 came out. I bought the Dragonfly 1 to say, like, okay, I'm not going to do a lot of work at the track, but I do want to incorporate the speed and I want to know what it's like and I want to get it. So I already kind of have a shoe for that. That's super light and it's kind of the same thing. So I don't need one for the roads. So it's going to be a no for me. Imagine that. Whole lot of no's. This is good, though. It's good for my pocketbook. It's good for my wife. Probably really appreciates this, too. Philip Watts is in here, and he says, Matt from DOR loved the Saucony Endorphin Trainer. I don't know why I leaned into that. Loved. Philip Watts did not cap loved. He just said, Matt from DOR loved the Saucony Endorphin Trainer. Named it the best trainer he's tested in the last 2 years. It is very niche. Just for one speed, cruising. Better slow and speed shoes out there. Okay. I didn't know that. I don't know which one Matt is. If he's the one with the heel that he eats up all the heel striker, we chews up the outsoles. I just listened to Andrea because we got the same mid-footer. Well, didn't know that. Good to know. Endorphin Trainer. Back on the map. All right, next up, the Cielo X1 2.0. Now, this one looks like it could be the shoe of the year for me, just the way it is. Because like if I had money, if like money was a thing for me, then then I would buy this shoe. This would be the first shoe that I would buy if like money was no obstacle. I would get this shoe. I have heard a few reviews. In both of those reviews, or like 2 out of the 3 of the ones that I've heard, they have dropped the name Wave Rebellion Pro 2, which was one of my favorite shoes last year. And so I was like, okay, this is lighter than the Cielo X 1.0, and it just I'm here for it. And at that price, I'm not here for it. It's Alpha Fly money. Okay. It's Alpha Fly money. It's then that'll bring me to the Endorphin Elite V2, which I think dropped yesterday. I think I've seen it around now. Everybody's on the stuff, and it's a no for now. If it falls onto my lap in the Seppo app for 180, it's like $100 off. Okay. But like after taxes, 275, what, $300? Yeah, no, that's OG Alpha money for sure. And it seems like a quirky shoe that I would like to try. Curiosity, but not necessarily for that price. So, and I've already got my race shoe picked out for Boston. And so, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm not in the market to buy a super trainer or like a super shoe right now anyway. So, we'll just wait just to see what happens. JBS is in here. He says, went out and did 18 miles in the OG Rebellion Pro as I had to do some race pace. Still as good as it was for New York in 2023. Awesome. Yeah, I was reading something. Someone was talking about how the foam changes and all this stuff. And I that hasn't been my experience, but I haven't, left them out for years and years and years and years. I've only been running for a few years, so but I still go back in, like, if I get the Nova Blast 5, I'll go back in. I have a pair of ones. I'll run in the ones. I have the Chicago colorway of the Endorphin Speed ones, and I'm gonna run that in those when the Endorphin Speed 5 comes out, 'cause that is a yes for me, dog. I am definitely gonna try the 5 out in the mutant colorway because I got to. And then I want to be able to compare it because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, it's back, baby. This one's back." And they always say baby. "Oh, this one's back, baby. Oh, the Boston's back. Boston 12's back. It's back, baby." Yeah, well, we'll see. But my ride experience in those shoes or they still slap. It's kind of like, oh yeah. So people will say like, oh, the Peg Turbo, it's nostalgia. It's not really that shoe, or And I'm very fond of the Nova Blast one, and then I go back and run it, and be like, no, yeah, really is. I like to take a nostalgia shoe, for my shakeout runs for major races. So just I don't know what it is. Little gratitude. So for the Chicago Marathon in 2022, I brought my Reebok Float Ride Energy Ones. For my shakeout in Marine Corps, I think I brought my Nova Blast ones. So anyway, I like to bring it back to what is good. All right, Frank can't talk today. Frank's in here. He says, "Were you in the NYC lottery?" Twas not. I was not. So I know that those things went out, right? They go out. It's the 5th. Say today is the 5th. Um so my okay, went out today. All right. Yeah, my strategy for the world majors is as follows. I've done Chicago. I'm gonna do Boston this year. Financially, I'm probably only going to be able to make one a year or one every 2 years, depending on where the race is located. So Boston checks this one off for this year. Between that race and the race in December and SATX, if I run under a 255 for my now 45-year-old self, as of in 2 days, I would then qualify for Berlin. So I would then that's my next one that I would like to try to run. And then, I've never entered into any lotteries besides Chicago the first time, which I got in. So I don't know when the cutoffs are for I always have to Google them to kinda, like, look. But then, like, New York would be the next logical one after that because Tokyo and London are all lottery. I think Tokyo has, like, a elite sub 230 kind of field, which I'm not gonna sniff anytime soon. So it's not realistic for those. I might just apply for them and continue, get rejected, repeatedly for years and years and years. Panos is in here. He says, "Is your race shoe still under embargo?" It is, I think, until June. So when it's not, when it releases, but it probably have a lot of content in it, especially if Boston goes well. I mean, I'm gonna have even if it doesn't, I'm gonna have that marathon in it and the half marathon in it, so I can talk to it a lot. So Stevie 76 is in here, and he says, "Your boy Joanna has blocked my comments on YouTube. I guess he's tired of me criticizing him for filming whilst driving." Oh man. Whew. Yeah, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I am mindful not to film when I drive, Stevie. So I want to let you know that I still cannot, for the life of me, find it's like a little box full of batteries for my GoPro, and I don't know where the kids put it, and I haven't been able to find it. So I still have one battery in there, and I charged it, but it goes out really quick, and I used it for the Coral's fitness test, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm quitting YouTube, but it's like it's getting more challenging. You're gonna need a camera for that. You're gonna need it's kind of important. You're gonna film and like this thing. It's really only for talking heads. Whenever I move it, it does the warble thing. This is the cheapest one that I could find when I started YouTube, and it has a lens on it already. It's an auto thing. Like I don't own any lenses. I'm not like, oh, let me get my prime lenses and we're gonna shoot this one and whatever. I mean, you would think with the film background that I would know more about that stuff, but let's face it, guys, I'm more of a front of camera person, more of an actor, the talent is like we like to say. Okay. So nobody's ever confused me with a cinematographer, and hopefully they never will. We're not going to have the aesthetic on this channel. We're just going to have jokes, which is the only reason Luis Becerra watches. So yeah, we'll keep them coming. But Matthias Ventos is in here. He says, "Heck, I still run in the Takumi Sen 8 for speed work and the Triumph 20 for daily miles. I'm not nostalgic about them, though, because I have yet to buy a newer model of either." Yeah, I still have one pair of the Takumi Sen 8s. I could have probably still run in the first one, but it's like when they went on sale, I was like, "Man, this is the best shoe ever. I gotta stack these up. I gotta load up. I gotta hoard." Okay, we'll say it. We'll say it. Not afraid to say it. Okay. Some things, okay, are worth hoarding. If you can't walk through your garage, okay, then we'll get to hoarder status. But until then, you could buy a couple pairs of those Takumi Sen 8s. They'll just keep on going. I did run once in the Prime X strung this week, maybe. Yeah, I think, and it's like 845 every week, inching away. And I'm telling myself it's 850 miles. I mean, this is not good. This can't be good for the legs. I got to protect the legs. It's like Boston, but it's like 50 millimeters of stack. It's 50 millimeters, guys. Like, my legs are fine. I think I'll be okay, to cruise at 8.5 minute pace around my neighborhood. All right. Stevie76 says, have you blocked anyone on YouTube? What would it take for you to block someone? That's a really good question. Man, I was on one like a few weeks ago. I was I usually don't care. I mean, it's like strangers on the internet. I mean, whatever. Like, and I'm old. Certifiably, these are grays, but these aren't highlights. I didn't go to a doctor for these or doctor. I didn't go to a stylist, right? And somebody roasted me on my hair. I thought it was funny. I leave it when people are like, oh, sitting in the comments or whatever. But I got a notification. I don't know what it was. I was like, woke up in the middle of the night, went to the bathroom, and I came back and I saw this notification. And somebody said something, and I went off. And then they were like, chill, bro. I was just like I was making a comment, I was doing whatever. And I was like, my bad, man. I wasn't in a good place. I don't think I was in a really good place at that time. And I've done what comes across passive aggressive type of stuff when I shoot a video and I'm like, this guy says I'm a yapper, and Jimmy says never trust a guy who didn't ride in the shoes. So like, here's my shoe, here's Jimmy or whatever. And then my wife's told me, and then I think somebody else, they're like, hey man, like you're in the public eye. You don't need to roast that guy. It's okay for him to roast you, but I mean, like, you at least blur out his name. And I'm like, well, he went public when he put it in the comments. I generally don't care. I'm not really bothered by it. I thought about blocking a guy the other day, though, just because he went in. It was the top 5 shoes that recovery shoes. And then to get likes on the comment, if you go into a video and you're like, this shoe's 1, this shoe's 2, this shoe's 3, this shoe, I'll spare you the 7 minutes it takes to watch this video, and you could just read this comment. Now everybody's going to like that comment. It's going to go up, and then you don't even have to watch the video. This guy's cutting into my watch time, dude. That's 17 cents. He's cutting into 17 cents per day. Like after a week, I could get a donut. I thought about it. I was like, red button to block him, but I didn't. I let it stand, and I just told him, hey, bro, no disrespect. You're cutting into my watch time. I didn't mention the 17 cents, but he did do that. I don't think I've blocked anyone. Some people are contrarian, but like it's a small channel, and most people aren't very negative. Like if you made it all the way this far down the rabbit hole of running, and then it just a midlife dad making jokes on stuff, like most people aren't like, oh yeah, but whatever. I did notice I got a lot of negative feedback on that Pegasus Premium. So I guess it's true that there's more of a Nike following and people are like whatever. Or if something it goes outside the reach that it normally gets. Like I started making shorts this year, and I made one on the Evo SL, and I was like, it's great at the gray zone. It's a great zone 3 shoe. And then people were just in there like, imagine this and whatever. And it's like, I don't honestly pay that much attention, but I got a note. I wonder what it would take if they came at my wife, probably for sure. JBS says the Cross fitness test is not a joke. That 5K pace after the 10K, ouch. Yeah. Oh my God. I was out of breath on that one. For sure. I was wiped. And you know what it is there's 25 minutes of marathon pace before that. So you're just kind of like cruising. It's like, all right, maybe this is the first 4 or 5 miles of a marathon. I'm okay. I got this. And then it just like ramps up, no break, ramps up, no break, no intervals. And then it's like, oh dear God. Okay. So, but I think that test is mostly marathon pace specific. Like I think it's like the marathon, spoiler alert for this video is going to come out Sunday, Um, it put my marathon time kind of where the VDOT is, kind of where everything else did. But I think it on the 5K, 10K stuff, it's a little bit it's a little bit off on that. But that's just because me and Koros just entered into a relationship. We're just getting to know each other. Okay. It's just this process is just getting started. Um, taking me out on a date, and we haven't gone on a 5K date. We haven't run a 10K together. So it doesn't really know what I am capable of doing at those paces. And so I think it's just like adapting, or it takes I think stride pods work like that too. It takes a while to get to know you, and then it kind of adjusts your power based on the range that you're able to do and stuff. So and it doesn't really I wanted to do the course fitness test to compare it to like what Garmin predicts, and then Runalyze, Sierra plots, Kaizen, all this stuff, just to kind of put them in the same bag and just, or like line them up and look at them, not to be like, ooh, when am I going to run him for Boston, fitness tests kind of thing. How accurate is it? It's just kind of like looking at it. John Duar's in here, said, have you changed your mind on the Evo SL? Yeah. That's actually one of the shoes, one of the 5 shoes that I like right now. So it's a good opportunity to segue into the 5 shoes. So let me go ahead and pull those up. So we got to deliver on the promise of this thumbnail. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm so angry. Oh, so I tell my dog, I like you. You're awesome. You're a really good dog. Or then I just sweet talk him and be like, oh, I'm going to put you to sleep. We're going to take you to the hell. We're going to take you to the pound. And he doesn't know. He's dumb. He's got the brain of a squirrel. Like he's just dumb. He's only good for one thing, and that's side eye, right? Like I got the side eye. He does the side eye all the time. He's like, what are you doing? What are you even talking about right now? Like, I don't know you. There's judgment. But Stevie76 is in here. He says, where did they seat midlife in the Dolby Theater for the Oscars? Well, they asked me to host, and I said, I'm busy, frankly. But you should look into this guy, Conan. I used to watch him when I was 15 years old. That's how old. Damn, Conan's been around for a while. That's crazy because it kind of looks the same. It always trips me out. Like Morgan Freeman, all those guys, Jack Nicholson, they just eternally always that look. And I was like, but I was a kid and now I'm an adult and they're still the same. Sus, for sure. All right, let's do this. 5 shoes. 5 shoes I like. You like these 5 shoes. Oh. Yeah, you guessed it. The On Cloud Eclipse. This week, 15 miles in it already. I wear it a lot casually, so it's not really been my first choice. Like when I'm like, oh, I'm going to run in a shoe, and I'm already wearing these shoes. Yeah, but I've been walking around in them. Right, but I'm going to do it. But this is a sleeper. This is a sleeper shoe. It's a perfect, like, it's such a sleeper shoe. It's a crime. It's my joke. I put that on, when I was talking on Cloud Surfer review, I was like, got in there and I was like, he mentioned the Eclipse. He's like, that's actually a pretty good shoe. Is it a sleeper? And I was like, yes, it is a sleeper. It's such a sleeper. It's a crime. I've been using it for doubles. In fact, its criminal name should be the Doubler. That's what it should be called because it's great for doubles. Got it for $90, certified Supwell app. And so when I think it's on sale most places though, because then I saw a version on the app in my size that somebody was selling for $60, and I was like, oh, I would have just waited for a week. I would have had it. But what I said in the 5 shoes for recovery, it's came in at my number 2, is just enough. It's got touch, just bouncy enough. It's just soft enough. It's got just enough of a rocker to cruise in. I absolutely love this shoe. But I will say, what makes a sleeper is now I tell you about it and I wake you up to it, and now we can't overhype it. Okay. I've got to sit here and say, we really need to appreciate the ordinary. It's very ordinary, but it's a stellar ordinary. Stevie 76, it is like it's Paul Giamatti, okay, on the while we're talking about the Oscars, okay? Yeah, Cinderella Man, Sideways, Win-Win, Paul Giamatti. He's great. Ordinary. He's great. So the takeaway here on Cloud Eclipse is a Paul Giamatti. Write that. Note it. Boom. On to the next one. On to Cincinnati. Second shoe I've been really liking. And I would say like I have been really liking is this like suddenly I really like. Oh, there we are. The Puma Deviate Nitro Elite V3 Kafuzi's Racer of the Year. I had only 21 miles in this shoe. It came in right before the Austin half, and I didn't really run fast after the Austin half. Took a little down week and then kind of came back, and I've been running in the Takumi Sen 10s for my workouts. And I did the 10 miles today, and I did the 10K effort in those shoes, and it clicked. And before today's run, I thought of it kind of like as a fun, universal, kind of widely accessible racer. Great for a variety of different paces. More like a fully realized Hoka Rocket X2. They're very similar, and I would prefer the Deviate Nitro Elite V3 barely on those two. But the softness of the foam isn't really just protective, it's actually lights up at faster paces or at a higher cadence. So to me, I got that Puma bounce back. I got a lot of that rebound. And so then it got me thinking, and then someone asked me in the comments about the Puma Fast R Nitro V2 versus the Deviate Nitro Elite V3. And I would say in the SJD matrix world of things is that the Puma Fast R is snappier and more responsive. There's ground contact. It's a like harsher ride. It pushes you more and it doesn't feel normal. The Deviate Nitro Elite V3 is much lighter and you're in control of it more than the other shoe. So and the energy return is coming from the bounce, this energy return versus the responsiveness or the snappy. So that's the two different versions. I think they're both really good, but and they do serve two different purposes though. So Jason Horner's in here. What's up, Jason? Can't wait to hear your thoughts on the recommended runner's diet to really light up the comment section. Dried mangoes. That's it. If anybody argues with me, fight me. Okay, fight me. You go eat a bag of there's this Kirkland brand from Costco, dried mangoes. There's no going back. It's going to interfere with your low carb audience, but sometimes we do low carb, but we'll spice it up for sure. Matt Byers in here said finally made it on. We'll catch up later on the earlier discussion. Now, there's a little Nike Streakfly section, but we didn't mention the Rival 4, and we haven't really. There's a Streakfly, there's a little Takumi in there, but we'll have to save that for spoiler alert. Takumi-sen is not on this top 5 that we're covering right now. Matthias Ventos is here. I'm not buying on the Peg Premium still. I can't for 220. Man, I would not even do it for 30. I wouldn't do it for 30. I would give it away. I would. Matthias says, was that your first Coros fitness test? It was. So everyone's been doing I've been seeing the Coros fitness tests. Everyone, it says in my Coros. My Coros says I could run a 207 marathon or 240, a 236, a 225. I'm like, man, I want Coros because it's the kind of affirmation that I need in my life. It seems like it's a very supportive watch that it believes in a lot of people, very generous on the fitness test. But I made the switch just because my Garmin was getting low on battery almost every day, and I was charging it every day. And it wasn't always like that with Garmin. I don't know how we got there. The relationship went south quite a while ago, but I was like, well, if I'm going to spend $200 on a new watch, let me try out this Coros. As long as I don't have to buy a foot pod and an armband, and I can just keep my chest strap and whatever I'm doing normally, and I'm just swapping out the watch, then we can do that. So that's what we're doing. Um, Stevie76 says, you made it when the Oscars include you in the memoriam. Yeah, you have officially you've made it, there's a guy locally who has a sports show where he did. I don't know. I haven't listened to sports radio in like 15 years. It's been a long time, but I imagine he's still around. And they would take bets, him and some of the other guys on like celebrity death lists, like who they think. And I was like, oh, well, if I was filling that out, and I've had Woody Allen, Clint Eastwood, and some other people on there. And I was thinking, like, man, that would have been like 15 years ago, and they're still around. I mean, I would be I'm terrible at that game. I don't know. So who's doing that? So Frank's in here. He says, have you been using it twice on the same day? In regards to the cloud eclipse, I have to go back and look. I think I did 10 one day, and then the next day I used it as a double, but I don't think I used it a double on the same day. But we'll have to do it. I'm definitely going to be stacking some more miles on the shoe. Okay, third shoe I like. Hoka Cielo X 1.0. The ribbon laces, they bothered a lot of people. They did untie themselves magically. I just had to double knot it, and then it wasn't such a big deal after that. But what I like about it is that my foot, similar to the Super Blast, similar to the Glycerin Max, my foot is encased. It's got a denser bounce. It feels like a Nike Invincible, but like more directed. Like it's structured better. So I did an 18-mile long run in it last weekend. I had 8 at marathon pace and then 2 at threshold. Now, it is hard to get the legs turning over, but I love that. So I absolutely love this shoe as a training companion to a super shoe. So some people say super trainers. I was against it. And then some people are like, I don't use super trainers. I was like, I've heard Co say that, if Sagasu running say that. They just try to like not use that term, right? And because it could be confusing. But this is what I think of when I think of like a super trainer. I wish it was not $275, but by the grace of God and the kindness of Chris Mintos Hart, who sent me these shoes, as they didn't fit him, or else I would have never run in them. I can say that these shoes do work really well in that it's heavy, like a weighted bat that you're swinging. So then when you get there on race day and you're able to swing through much quicker, that's the idea. And also, it does fit into that category. I mean, it could easily have also taken the Super Blast out for that run. My shoe would have been just as encased and it would have protected the legs. But between that shoe, the Super Blast, the Glycerin Max, and all of these, and the Neo Zen, my legs have complete coverage. Okay, they got medical, dental, they got vision. I don't know how they got vision, but we're just going to say they have vision, and they probably still have to pay for the frames, but my legs are covered, between the current shoe rotation I have never felt more coverage in my life. So that's the third shoe. Where are we? All right. Finally, no, not finally, but fourthly, we've got the Neo Zen 106 miles in the shoe, 100-mile review incoming at some point. If I am able to actually post and I don't quit YouTube. I will say, Joanna says this is daily trainer banger for the shoe. I want to reach for it every day, but I'm forcing myself to reach for other shoes just to get miles in those other shoes. And I think what it is the new Interzine Next foam. And I think it was you, Stevie, that said there's a loss. You join a mass class action lawsuit on Nike for saying Zoom X on everything, right? And then they did that, the Vomero 18, they put Zoom X on it. It's all different versions of Zoom X. That's what Mizuno did. Mizuno put Interzine next, and it was in the Neo Vista, and it's in the Neo Zen, and there are two different foams. And the one that's in this gets me excited. This nitrogen infused TPEE, I don't know, bunch of letters that's not EVA. That's what this in this shoe, and it's a completely different ride experience. And it makes me excited to try their other shoes if they use that same formula. So, but yeah, looking forward to that. Let's see let me catch up with you guys. Matt Byers in here. Ran in the Takumi yesterday. Still a great shoe. Bam. Takumi quota hit. Between you and Frank and myself, we will keep the tradition going. I think they're going to four-peat. They already did a three-peat with the 8, 9, and 10. At 11, I don't see why they wouldn't. Stevie76 says Sagasu's second channel will have shampoo reviews. Yeah, but I need to learn about shampoo. We could do something with these grays, but I'm here for it. I like his ideas. I like his idea videos. I don't always like listening to running. A lot of it's the same stuff. I'm part of the problem. I'm fully aware of it, guys. But yeah, I try not to make 6 mistakes you're making, or like what they never told you about whatever. Like even the people that I like who make clickbaity kind of stuff, I still watch them, but I'm just like, like I don't watch a particular video, but it is just like, oh, I ran, it's like Ben and Mary do stuff like that. They seem like really nice people, but I just like, I ran a marathon in 50 meters or something. What they don't tell you about zone 2. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Number 1. Mr. Duart, I'm not sure if you're still in here. We're going to talk about it now, though. Okay. Evo SL. We did 10 last Thursday in this. I did 5 Steezy, 719 pace. I'm not sure what that converts to in case. It's probably really impressive, though. I did some hills in this thing. All right. So, first of all, I stand by what I said. Like this upper, you could just see right through it. You can't see my toes. My toes aren't in it right now because I'm holding it to the camera. But it's way too, when it's cold, like my toes feel like they're going to freeze off. And it's not cold in Texas for very long. It's over. We're done. This weekend's going to be the last bit of decently chill running. I think it'll be 45, 50 degrees in the morning. After that, I think the highs are in the high 80s or low 90s next week. There's no turning back. We're already done. This means I can run in the Evo SL a lot more than I have been. I probably only have like 30, 40 miles in it or something like that. And I'm really looking forward to mincing that Light Strike Pro and turning it. But it's a fun shoe. That's a really fun shoe. But I will say this. I saw the run testers came out with something. I thought if I'm going to compare this shoe, I'm going to compare it to the Pegasus Plus. And I'm sure Sagasu did. And like, it just seems like the logical thing to do. And the run testers are like, which is the best daily trainer? And they had these 2 shoes, the Pegasus Plus and the Evo SL. I mean, you can make it a daily trainer. It doesn't really it feels like a plateless speed shoe. That's what it feels like to me. And it's so much fun. It's fun. I don't know how I would run in it and not run faster in it. I wouldn't know how to plod along in the shoe. It just feels like the rocker is pushing me forward as I go and just like encouraging me with the softest of compliments. in my ear, just whispering sweet somethings, you know. I don't know about sweet nothings, but it's a little something, you know. You're gonna be our Boston. You're so fast. Those half tights look really good right now. All right. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah, but you know this because that's why you're here. I hope because it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous channel. All right, Matt Byers in here. He said you still need to get the Rival Fly, still on sale, $70. Nike. I know. I'm gonna be honest with you, Matt. I got on the Supwell app and I closed it out. I closed it from my tap because going into March, my wife said, "Hey, by the way, this month just like no shoes. Budget for shoes this month, $0." I was listening. It's my birthday. I don't know if you know. She forgets. She's not great with birthdays. I know everybody's birthday, but she forgets. It's like her only. It's like her kryptonite. It's okay. And she's going to Barcelona for work this week. So I was like, hey, you know, you're doing that. It's like on my birthday. You know, I know it's not personal, but it seems like it's thing personal. But yeah, budgets at zero. And she's going to Barcelona because she's going to chaperone kids in Japan. Just take a trip in Japan. So here's a loophole. There are these third-party travel trips that, you know, they get to schools and the kids make payments for years, and then they take this big trip to Japan or Italy or Greece. Well, they have to be chaperoned by somebody. So if you sign up for that, it's work. You get your ticket paid for, you go. So last year she went to Italy, she went to Greece. This is why she comes back and tells me the cost of living and all this. Hey, Dad, it's look, we could fresh fruit, fresh veg, cost of living, the yen is weak. Watch. She's gonna come back from Japan. She's like, this is gonna be like, we got to go to Japan, and you got to learn Japanese. That's quite the obstacle that we would be looking at. Anyway, she's going to Barcelona to train for. I don't know why they couldn't do it on a Zoom. I think they probably have a Zoom option, but like if you have a Zoom option, or they're like, we're gonna take you out to Barcelona, and then you're gonna chaperone some kids, then we're gonna send you back, which is for a weekend. Now you'll be really Japan ready, because Barcelona and Japan, I don't know, doesn't make sense to me. She's probably cheating on me. Just kidding. Jason says, Stevie76 says, happy birthday. Thank you, Stevie. It's 45, man. I'm excited to enter the new bracket. I get an extra 10. I had the extra 10 minutes this last year in Boston. I didn't need it. I didn't need that shit, but I had it for cushion for backup. But it lowers my Berlin time down to 2:55 to qualify. So I'm excited for that. I need all the help I can get. So Jason's in here. He says, got a used Koros Pace 3 from the Supwell app. Looking forward to starting our relationship. Welcome to the fraternity, Jason. I'm glad you made it. I'm looking forward to your fitness test and seeing how you guys get on. And maybe we'll do a double date. It's just like everybody with the Koros. I don't like options, guys. They gave me the option. They're like, you want this band or that band? I'm like, what's the difference between the bands? The other one fits a little too tight. It doesn't have anything to do with the band. It's how tight I make the band. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this white one, but now it's off-white. It's dirty. It's dirty. I should have known. I should have known better, but I don't know. I never learned from my lessons. Let's see. Matt Byers in here. He says, she's saying, my wife saying, sorry if this is too loud. Wait till April then. Yeah. Her birthday's in April 3rd. I know that. I don't know if she knows mine, but I know that when hers is. And we're going to be getting me some shoes for her birthday for sure. Stevie76 has found the connection. South of France, south of Texas. That's what it is. Alex Dominguez is in here. He says, just joining now. Alex, we've been waiting for you. I do like 15-minute check-ins. So when's out? Is Alex? Anybody got eyes on Alex? When's Alex going to show up? My man, thanks for swinging by. When you go back, you got to listen to it later because you almost became an LBNL. And I had some words for that in here before. So I appreciate you coming by. So John Duar's in here. You were here, so you got the Evo SL part. Yeah, summer is coming. Yeah, summer is the year I trained for Chicago, and it must have been 2022, was the second worst summer in history, and then 2023 was the worst. I swear to you, it was 100 degrees in the afternoon starting in late March or early April, and it went. I think we had like, I don't know, an astronomical amount of 70 something days of 100 plus. It went all the way until October. So much so that when I went to train for Chicago, or when I was in Chicago at the start line, it was 40 degrees and it felt like -7. I've never been in -7 degree weather, but it is what I imagined what it was like in -7. And that's why I had the jacket on that covered up my bib and I didn't take it off because I didn't have the nuts or the know-how, right? I was a bro hard. I wasn't bro harding. I was not. There's a guy shivering next to me and I should have just joined him in the suffering. And that way my 319 chip time would have been a disappointing 311 time that still would have not also qualified me for Boston. So I guess it didn't matter. Frank's in here. He says, those Berlin age things go from like 45 to 60. That's crazy. Oh, wow. So that 255 standard all the way till 60. Dang. Okay. Well, I better take advantage of it this year then because I'm going to be 45. And you never know. You never know. Boston, I've decided, I've started to, I put that video out last week. It was like Boston tips, throw your Boston tips. And guys, thank you, Frank. Thank you for putting your tips in there. They're all very useful. And I'm going to make note of a lot of them, all of them. And one of the things that I'm learning is that because there are people just all packed in. I watched Gafuzi's video last night too, again, which was helpful. I don't have any control really at the beginning for many miles. So I might lose a lot of time and theoretically I should be fresher for later, but still there's a lot that's out of my control so I'm going to be running by effort and I'm going to give it a good whack, but I don't really know. It's not the same as saying I'm going to run Chicago. It's flat, fast, predictable. Hopefully you get good weather. And this is my time goal, my A goal, my B goal, my C goal. So still going to run it by effort, but it just seems like there is not another race with as many variables. And I know that I can go out for a run down the street here and I'm rested and I'm calm and I'm in my house. But I've got to figure out the logistics. Got to not try to pee on a statue before we load up on the buses to get to where we're going and do all these things. And then, so it's my first time running the course and I'm sure it'll be really exciting and stuff. So I'm still very much looking forward to it. I'm just trying to ditch all the expectations. So 104 guys, it's a good time to call it. I appreciate you. A lot of people stopping in today. And if you didn't catch it and you're listening later, but not live, again, hope your run is miserable and you're a better person because of it. This Sunday, look for the Corals fitness test video. And then after that, a little action with Tim Gross. Peace, guys.